machine today than was used to put the first man on the moon in 1969. We've become accustomed to instantaneous answers and moment-to-moment connectedness, but the digital revolution that is making it possible was unthinkable just 50 years ago. We're the richest, most comfortable, most connected people in human history. And yet, in the midst of extraordinary prosperity, we're also living through a crisis. Our communities are collapsing, and people are feeling more isolated, adrift, and purposeless than ever before. We're not talking much about this crisis. Nonetheless, we all have a sense that something's not right. Our marriages aren't satisfying. Our kids seem hypnotized. We quietly feel that adulthood has been a disappointment. We sense that somewhere along the way, everything went off the rails. We have a crisis in this nation, and it has nothing to do with regulatory reform or marginal tax rates. This book is not going to be about politics. Sorry to disappoint. It's about something deeper and more meaningful. Something a little harder to quantify, but a lot more personal. Despite the astonishing medical advances and technological leaps of recent years, average lifespan is in decline in America for the third year in a row. This is the first time our nation has had even a 2-year drop in life expectancy since 1962, when the cause was an influenza epidemic. Normally, declines in life expectancy are due to something big like that, a war or the return of a dormant disease. But what's the big thing going on in America now? What's killing all these people? The 2016 data point to 3 culprits: Alzheimer's, suicides, and unintentional injuries, a category that includes drug and alcohol-related deaths. 2 years ago, 63,632 people died of overdoses. That's 11,000 more than the previous year, and it's more than the number of Americans killed during the entire 20-year Vietnam War. It's almost twice the number killed in automobile accidents annually, which had been the leading American killer for decades. In 2016, there were 45,000 suicides, a 30-year high, and the sobering climb shows no signs of abating. The percentage of young people hospitalized for suicidal thoughts and actions has doubled over the past decade. We're killing ourselves, both on purpose and accidentally. These aren't deaths from famine or poverty or war. We're literally dying of despair. And this is not even to mention the data about how we're having less sex and making fewer babies, both of which are, across history, signs of diminished hope in the future. It turns out that the massive economic disruption that we entered a couple of decades ago and will be navigating for decades to come is depriving us psychologically and spiritually at the same time that it's enriching us materially. The same technology that has liberated us from so much inconvenience and drudgery has also unmoored us from the things that anchor our identities. The revolution that has given tens of millions of Americans the opportunity to live like historic royalty has also outpaced our ability to figure out what community, friendships, and relationships should look like in the modern world. As reams of research now show, we're richer and better informed and more connected, and unhappier and more isolated and less fulfilled. There is a terrible mismatch here. We're in crisis. I love to run with my kids. In a uniquely memorable half marathon 2 years ago, one of my daughters, then age 12, projectile vomited just short of mile 13. I don't mean that she got down on one knee behind a tree. I mean she made a giant splash in the middle of a crowd. But this kid has a will of steel. I knew she wasn't dropping out that close to the end. I was proud of her as she dug deep and continued to put one foot in front of the other. But I was also scanning the road ahead for water stations. It's important to stay hydrated even if you haven't decorated your shoes, but I knew water was going to be new life for her. When we saw a table up ahead, manned by friendly people extending encouragement along with their water cups, it was like seeing an oasis in the desert. We knew we were among friends. When the Lincoln, Nebraska Marathon came around last year, my team and I set up a water station like we do every May. We like to greet and encourage the 14,000-plus Midwesterners who lace up. I enjoy the marathon vibe. People coming out of their houses with coffee in hand to cheer on the runners, neighbors high-fiving strangers as they struggle by, dogs taking advantage of the Gatorade dribbling from discarded cups in the streets.